Good afternoon and welcome to my garden. Today we're going to look at our Ozark Beauty pepper plants right here. For those who are following along, we started the seed in little plug trays, little plugs, little 4-pack, 6-pack, little trays that you get plants in little packs. And when they got about this size, we transplanted them. Here's one. It's just not doing that well. But at this size, we transplant them over to these larger pots, like so. Now this plant has grown quite a bit since it was transplanted a week ago. You can see it was this size. It's now this size. Doing quite well. We will add some more soil to this pot later on in the week. We will do this a couple of times to fill this up until it's filled right up to here, giving that plant a really good deep root system is ready to go when we set it out in our garden. But this is our Ozark Beauty. Here's one that's really doing well. And we run a fan on these plants when they cannot go outside, so they get a little bit of a breeze. It stiffens the stem, makes that stem grow strong and rather than weak, and it does slow its reach down because we're doing this without any artificial light. And these plants, we can leave them in these here for quite a while, and should our weather not cooperate, they can be planted up one more time without any trouble into the next size bigger pot. They got quite a while in this pot here. And here's our aubergines. They grow a little bit slower. Again, though, we can see they're coming. And this is how they were when we set them out, just like this. It's all done the same day. You can see these are, but this is the size they are now. This is the size they were when they were set out, set into these pots. And we started these on the warming shelf of our wood cook stove because these need heat. All these peppers and eggplant, they have to be kept warm or they're not going to germinate. So we keep them up there till they start breaking. As soon as we start seeing a few of them breaking the soil, we want to get them over in the light. We want them to get as much light, as intensive light as possible. We want to have them the heat to get them sprouted. And we want to have some airflow on these as soon as we can so the stems are strong, as much light as possible. And whenever we get a nice day, it's possible we're going to get them out into our cold frame. Or even like today, because these have been out in the cold frame many times, since they were just smaller than this. If we went in the afternoons, if it got nice, I'd slip them out there. But they've been out in that cold frame. They've been out in direct sunlight as much as possible. These plants were already hardened off enough that today it got warm enough they could set right out in the open without any protection, and we don't have any sunburn. If our plants are not hardened off properly, that sun can actually kill these tender plants. So that's why we want to harden them off by a little exposure. If we're starting plants inside, we want to take them out so you get a little exposure, little exposure, little exposure, a little more, slowly get toughened up. But these plants have been exposed enough. They're fairly tough already. And that's a good thing. Now, a lot of you are not going to have a place to start these like I do. And I used to do this with an incubator. I had an old Sears and Roebuck kit incubator with the 4 light bulbs on the top, and the shelf went in the middle. It would hold several hundred chicken eggs. I think it held 200 chicken eggs, if I remember right. I say several, 200. And you could slip the flats in underneath with the seeds in and germinate them in that incubator. The seed flats provide the humidity, and the incubator provided the heat. I could do two things at once. Other people have you'll use like an old waterbed heater, or you can buy heat mats as well, uh, or even check the temperature on top of certain appliances. You may have warm spots in the home that give you enough heat to do this. Uh, so that's just a little update on our plants here. I want you all to have a wonderful day and keep growing. And seeing as you have stuck around this long to hear the end, why don't you go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button if you found anything of any use, and leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm. So, y'all have a wonderful day and keep growing.